Okay, so I think there was some network issue. We'll continue. Okay, so what is happening is that, so let us say I have a block. So let us say this is a block, right? So this block in content can be changed, right? So every time I have a new view, or let us say a new template, this block will always change, right? So what I can do is, so let us say, okay, so let's just wait for a second so that other people can again join. Okay, so let's start again. Sorry about that. I think there was some there is some network issue from my side. So let us say I have this particular block, right? So if I like just draw it so that you can see it more easily, right? So this particular block can always change. Okay, so whatever I'm writing here will change and it will always be visible. So let us say based on the view. So if I go on different view, it will be different. And if I go on, let us say third view or second view, then that will also be different, because I'm only changing this particular block of text, and let rest of the page stays same. It is inheriting from something called as base dot like HTML. Okay, so second thing what I can do is, so let's say I have this, so I can say like block content, right? And make sure you are giving spaces in between so that it is much more easier to read. So, and then I can say that and block, right? So now in between this block, I can like write anything on the different HTML page. So let us say if I go on index.html, and then on the index.html, what I can say is that let us say I would like to extend the base.html, right? So if I say that extends, right, this is the keyword, and I will say the name of the my application. So I want to extend the food applications base HTML. So let us say food, and then I will say the name of my let us say file. So it was base.html. Okay, and then I can also say that I would like to change the title block. So what is happening is that first we are loading the base HTML, and now we are saying that for the title block, change it to home, right? And then what I want is inside the block content, right? So inside this block content, what I want is, so inside the body, let us say first I will load it so that like this block content says that the block content that we have in base HTML and the end block that we have. So any content that is inside this like start and end tag will be rendered in here. Okay, because we saw that HTML reads from top to bottom, right? So every time if I can have like n number of block contents, right? But they will be reading from top to bottom. So second is, so let us say if I'm saying that h1, this is let us say index plus base HTML, right? So now if I say I should be getting the same thing, so now I'm getting index plus base HTML, right? And everything is same. It is just that this is changed because I'm saying index plus base HTML. So let us say if I copy it and if I go on the orders page, and here I will say order, right? And now if I change my endpoint, so order, now it will say order plus base HTML. So this is something called as in template inheritance, where we can make the template inherit from a base like HTML. And same thing we can do with like let us say nav and everything. Like, so we can say have a different file for nav, we can have a different file for like other things also. Okay, so this is how it is working. So second thing that I wanted to show was, so let us say I have a URL, right, in the navigation bar. Okay, so in this navigation bar, if I say like I want a nav, so for now nav, I will say that let's see which one is good. Yeah, so let's say I want this navigation bar. So what I can say is, in the base HTML, just before the content, I want the nav to be shown first. So I will load the nav. Okay. And now if I like come back to the website that I have created. Okay. So if I load it, now I have a navigation bar, right? So in this navigation bar, what I can do is I can give like URLs. So let us say first I have home. Okay. So let us say URL for home is, so let us say whenever I want to load a URL, so what I can do is, yeah, I can use the URL keyword. So I will again start the curly braces and then say percentage, and then I will say URL and then single column, and then I will say name of the food, like application, that is food, and then colon, and then I can say the name of my view. So name of view was home, right? So now if I load it and then if I click on home, it is taking me to the home, right? Similarly, what I can do is, instead of features, I can say let us say my app. Okay. And then I will give the URL that first, let me just copy it. Yeah. So now here I want to give the name of app, that is my app, and then I will give the name of view, that was again my app. If I refresh it, so my app is not registered namespace. Okay. So this problem is happening because we are on a different app. So what we can do is, so let's see. Okay. So first let's check if orders is we can access the order. So this, and then I will say order food. So it is saying no, then I will say, okay, let me check. So it is my app and then my app. Okay, so move it for now. And now check. Yeah. So it is order. So I'm getting order, and on home I'm getting this. So for my app, I have to see what the issue is. Okay, so I think I need to route it again, but instead of routing it, what I wanted to show is, because we are low on time, I will show you how to get data from like models. Okay, so first let's do this. So all we want is first this index and then order. So what I will do is, so quickly before like wasting any time, what I will do is, so here in the index, what I want is, I will say our food, or I can say like dish special. Okay, and then I can make cards. So same is like I will say get bootstrap. In the documents, what I can say is that card. Okay, so here I can copy a card first, and then I will say that first I will create a container. So container fluid, and then I will create a row, and then I will create like a card. Okay. In this card, I can let's first do this. So currently I don't have any images, but what we would like is, so let us say I have this. So in alt, I would say food item 1, right? And in the title, what I want is, so I will use again template inheritance, or I will say whatever data I am getting from the model, I want the name of that particular item. And in P tag, what I want is I want the price. So again, I will say use template inheritance to say price. Okay. And here I will simply say add to cart. And same for images. What I will do is I will use template inheritance, or let us say I want image of a particular item that I'm getting. Okay, so next thing that we can do is we saw that we have like migrate, make migration and migrate. So the data file, database file was created in SQLite. So what I can do is I can simply go to models. In this model, so simply what I will do is let's see. Yeah, so in this model I will create a class, right? So yeah, so class, and then I will say food basically, right? Why? Because the name of class has to be capital letters. And then I will say models dot model, right? And then I will basically give the name of columns that I want. So what it will do is it will automatically create a table of same name in the SQLite, because we have connected the SQLite for now. But later we will be seeing how to connect MySQL. That will be like after I have shown you how models work, I will show you how to like add a MySQL database, as well as like how to add data in that. So second thing is like, let us say name of column is name, and then I will say models basically, and then I will say char field. And then I will say max length that this particular like column can take is 100. So whatever data we are entering in name column, one row like one record will only have like 100 length for the name. So the second thing we can do is I can say price of the item. So let us say models dot decimal field. Okay, why decimal? Because it is price, so we can have like 4.99 and 3.99, and max digit, and then I can say full. Second, I can say that decimal places. Okay, that will be 2. So basically I can have max digit as 4. That means maximum amount I can have is 99.99, right? Because 2 will be the decimal places in that digit, right? And if I say 5 digit, that will be 99.99. And if let us say if I say decimal places is 3 and max digit is 5, that will be 99.999. Okay, and then I can say image, and then I can say models dot URL field. Okay. Now why URL field? So that we can directly add a URL of image, and then we can use this. Next, I will call a constructor. Let us say str. Okay. This is again for, even without that we can work with model, but it is good thing to like create a string representation. Okay. And then I will say return self dot name. Okay. So we have created a model. Now what I can do is I can basically go to the terminal, right? And then what I will do is I will say, okay, then what I will do is I can say to make migration and migrate. So let us say Python manage.py make migrations, right? So it has detected some changes, and then I will say migrate. Okay, now this has also migrated. Yeah. So next thing is, let's check if a new table is created in our SQLite database. So second thing is that let us say backend, and then name of our project. And now if I check, open with SQLite database, then you can see I have one table where I can say browse. Currently I have ID, like ID is which will be created by default. Then I have column of name which we created using classes, and then the column of price as well as image which we have like created using the classes. When we migrated it, it has already created a table by default. So with this, I can like now add like whatever content I want inside that model. So for that, what I will do is I will use the admin feature of let us say MySQL. So I can say that Python manage.py create super user, and then I need to give a name, right? And second thing is that I need to create give a email address. So I will just give an email address and then password. And so you need to have at least 8, but you can bypass that. So basically now I have a super user. So what I can do is basically I can go to my website. I can, if I say admin, right? So now I will be getting an admin page. Okay. Let's see what the issue is. Okay, I'm not running the server. Yeah, so if I run the server now, yeah, so do this. Now I'm getting the Django administration, and I will give name and password, and then I will log in. Now I have group and user, but how I can add like a food article in this? So what I can do is I can go on the like admin.py file, and in this admin.py file, I will say that from dot model import, like from models import food, the name of class, right? Next thing I will do is I will create another class. Okay, and I will say that food admin, and then I will say that admin dot model admin. So model admin. So admin dot or model admin is basically, I can say that I what information I want to list. So I will say that I want to list display. So I will use a tuple. So I want to display an ID, and then I want to display a name of my whatever application was that, and then I want to display the price. I don't want to display the URL of image. And then I have to register this class inside the Django admin. So I will say admin dot site dot register, and then the name of my class, and then I will also like register the admin that I have created. Okay, so now if I like refresh this, now I have this food, right? So if I can say add, and now I can add any food article. I can say like let us say pasta, and then I will say 299, and then I can add an image. So let us say Unsplash. Yeah, so I have already searched it. Okay, so I will copy the image link and then paste it, right? And then I will say save. Now I have one ID named as pasta. I have one food article saved. Okay, so what I can do right now is, let me go here first. Okay, so now what I want is I want to get the data from a model and then like show it to on a template. That can how it is possible? It will be like we need to register it on a view. View will it is job of view to take the data from model and then view it on the template. You and then how we can view it? We can basically like use this. Where was it? So on index, you see, we have like this, right? So what I will do is, so let us say, for now, I will say food dot, and then food dot, right? You will say why food dot, because we have the model, right? So let me open the view. So I will give a context to this page. Okay, so here I will say, let us say CTX, I can give any like variable name, and then I will say okay, let me see. Yeah, so here I can say like first I will say no, instead of, yeah, let us say context instead of it will be good. So what I can do is foods, where I'm getting the foods is equal to name of class that we have created, and then class objects, and then I'm saying that I want all the objects from the food class, right? So name of class, and then I'm saying the object from all the food class, right? And then in the, I'm just creating a random variable. I can say like v1 also, but ctx is the name that mostly we use. And then I'm saying this, all the foods that we are getting here, I want them in foods. And then I can say that I let's say like context equal to ctx, name of variable that I have, right? So after doing that, what I need to do is I need to go on the index again, and here I need to use a for loop. So row, yeah, so here I can say is that, okay. So using template inheritance, we can also get like for loops and if else statements. So let us say for food in foods, right? Foods is basically the variable where we are saving our information that we have. And then this, and I will say and for. Okay, just give me a second, I'll be back. Okay, so now we have a for loop. So what basically what it should do is, so if I say f, so it is saying that name food is not defined. Okay, let's see what issue is. Yeah, we have not imported the model, I think. Yeah, so new, and then I have to import the model. So from dot models import food. Okay, now if I say server is not running also. Let's see what the issue is. So we cannot import the name. Oh, okay, I am on actually my app. Sorry, so I need to import it on here. Yeah. So from dot models import food, right? And in my app, what I will be doing is, so where is the, I have to remove it. Okay. So now you can say it is running. So let's say F5, and now I have this article, right? So next thing that I can do is, so let us say I go to the index.html. I will just make some tweak, like I don't want any kind of padding on the card, and I want one margin, right? If I say now I don't have any padding, and there will be one margin, around the card. So we can see if it is working or not by saying that if I go here and then I will say that I want to go to admin, right? Let's add another food article. So let's say this one, and I will say that name will be burger and price will be 487, and then the link of like 466, and the link of image, and then I will say save. After saving, if I refresh it, I have another food article. So it doesn't matter how many food articles I'm going to add, it is going to be keep adding it by default because we are using the for loop, right? So for loop is like running on the database and it is checking how many record we have and it is printing those record. So basically, this is how models are working. We can add the models and data like information in the database. And now if we like check it again, right? So if I, let us say, go to database structure and then I will say browse. So now I have some information, right? So I have name, price, and as well as images, because we have added this information from the Django admin. Okay. So next thing that we can do is, so instead of using SQLite, we can also like connect another let us say database. So what I will have to do is, I will first close this application. So on the main application, I can go on setting, and after going on setting, what I will do is, here I have database, right? So in database, you can say default is SQLite, and then I have the name of the database, right? So I can say I don't want this database, and then I can just say like, let's say, uh, how, not this one. So let's say how to add database in Django. Okay, so let's see. Um, Add the database in Django. Right. So I will go on this website of Geeks of Geeks. So what next thing we can do is, so it is giving me, like, it is telling me how we can do it. So first thing, it is saying that I need to install MySQL client. So I will do that. So let's say I have a terminal. I will open a new terminal. Right. So after opening the new terminal, first thing I will do is, I will like open the same that I had, that is virtual environment. So I have like activated the environment. I will say food. I will change the directory, and then I will say uh, it installed. What was the name? The name was MySQL client. MySQL client. Right. So now I have installed the MySQL client. Next thing that I can do is, I just need to add this line of code. We'll see what this line of code is. So let's so here if I like paste it, then it is like basically same. What I'm telling is that use MySQL as the default engine, and here I have the root as user. I don't have any password, remember, so I will not add any password. And basically host and port is like I'm using by default, so I don't need to change it. But second thing is that it is saying the name of database, right? So I need to give what name of, like, database I'm using. So let us say it is saying MyDB. So to use it, I have to create MyDB. How I can do that is, I can basically go here. So if I say MySQL admin, right. So you can see I have this information already available, like MySQL performance schema, PHP admin and test. We saw that these are the like default table that we are already getting every time. Like let us say we like installing the database from PHP MyAdmin. Next thing is that I need to create a new database. So I can create a new database by clicking on new from PHP MyAdmin. Or if you have installed the MySQL, what you can do is, you can go on MySQL Workbench. Right. Open the localhost, which was the link that we had created. Right. And then what I will do is, I can like basically create a new database, right? From let us say here, I can like just say that, let us say create database MyDB. Okay. And if I run it, so this is the query for running database. And if I refresh it, now I have a database called as MyDB, right? So I will just set it as default, and now it will give me option to change it. But instead of this, if I now come here and refresh it, you will see that it says MyDB, because I have already created it. Now inside MyDB, I can like, use it. So let's say if I have MyDB available. So now if I come here, and let us say if I say, first let me stop the server. Okay, it is already giving me that unknown database MyDB. So what I will do is Python manage.py make migrations. So I will now migrate in MySQL instead of SQLite. And next thing I want to do is I want to actually migrate. So migrate it, right? Now it will give me some warnings, but you can ignore it for now. We'll look how to solve it in later training session. So for example, I will clear it for now. And now if you come here and if I refresh it, right? So, and then if I'm clicking on like MyDB, you will see that we have more tables already created. We have auth group permission, and we also have food underscore food, which is the table created by like Django, right? So if I click on food and food, you will see that we don't have any data that we had added using like PHP MyAdmin, right? Sorry, Django admin, right? That is because we have created a new table in a new database. The data will not be migrated. There are ways to like get the data from previous database to new database. But instead of that, what we can do is we can actually add information using SQL queries. So if I go to insert, right? Insert, I have like, see, because I'm in PHP MyAdmin, it is giving me a GUI interface to add the data. But if I am on like MySQL, like this MySQL workbench, I have to write like SQL query to add any data I want. So basically, what I will do is like this is auto incrementing. If I like click on browse, sorry, structure, then you can see that this is auto incrementing, right? So if even if I don't add any ID, it is going to be auto increment by itself. So I will say insert, and then again for name I will say pasta, and then okay. So because we have changed the database, if I refresh it, okay, I'll run the server. So let's run the server first. So what is happening is, see, I don't have any food articles right now. Why? Because I don't have any information item in my storage. So what I can do is I can go here, I can say pasta, and then I can say instead of 299, I will say 199. And here I will like take the image link. And if I click on go, this information will be saved in my database. So if I now refresh, I have this food article, right? So this is what we are basically doing, and I think we can like still add the food article here. So I just have to say login again. Okay, sorry, we have created admin for a different database. We have to, I think, create again, right? So we'll see how to do that in next session, like how to work with Django admin, because I don't really want to go too deep on that. When we will be working with like a deployment and a configuration, then we will be seeing like how to create user, because we already have a day dedicated, like training session day dedicated to like basically creating user and creating authentication. So for now, understand like you can enter the data using PHP MyAdmin if you have installed the MySQL using PHP MyAdmin, and you can also enter it using the like PHP like MySQL workbench, right? And let us say if I go to PHP MyAdmin and in the MyDB, let's say I'm adding a new table, right? If I inside MyDB, I will say new, right? So this will give me functionality to add a new table, and here I will say the name of table is users, okay? And I will add one more column. If I like add one and columns and go, then I will have total of 5 columns instead of 4 columns. Then I will say name as first I want to create a column of ID. Then I will create basically the column of name, then user, and let us say like instead of user, I can say username. Then I can say password, and let us say I will say added on like when the user was created. So first is integer, that is correct. But if I like zoom out, I have an option of AI, like auto increment. Then I want to click on auto increment so that this ID will auto increment on its own. Second is name. I will say varchar, and I will say that the name cannot be more than 150 character. Okay, that is I know it is long, but it is okay number. Then I will say for username, I don't want it to be more than 36 character long. And for password also, I will say like varchar, and then I will say password cannot be more than, let us say, 16 character long. And for added on, I will say date, okay, like when the user was added, and I will say default will be current timestamp. Now, if I like click on save, then this new table will be created, right? So I have a new table called as, like, if I click on browse, if I click on MyDB, then you can see that I have new table which is users. Okay, but if I want to get this user, but what I can simply do is I can go on like models, right? And here I can add that user. But there is a other way to do this. There is a way like where I don't have to code my models like file. What I can do is I will go here and then I will say see yeah. So I will say Python manage.py, and the name is inspect.db. So inspect db, right? And in bash shell we know that if I say arrow and then the name of file, that file name will be created with the content of whatever like output this the command will give. So whatever command output I am getting from python manage.py inspect db, I will be saving it in the, let us say, db.py. Now this db.py will be saved in the food app directory, which is the project directory. So if I say enter, now you can see that I have a new file which is called as db.py. So I will close it. Okay, so I think it was not running. Okay, it is still running, and now you can see that I have some information in this. So now you can see it has already created the models code for me based on the let us say tables that were already present in the database, right? So what I can do is, so I can basically copy paste this model and use it as it is. But I would say that you make some changes if you want, and like make changes in the table if you want. So right now I had like class food, which was the table name as food underscore food, which we had created it, okay. And then you can see that I have adding like ID, and then it is like primary key that we did, and it is also auto incrementing it is and then I have name, price, and then the image, right? So we already have this information. And second is the newly created model that like newly created table. So we created a table of user, correct? So now I have the code for that table. I can basically copy this code and then use it as it is. That will be also fine. So this is one of a way where your database team can work like however they want. They can add the new user, add the new information. All you need to do is you can like basically check what changes they have made, and then make changes on your code base by using things like let us say python manage.py inspect db, where you can inspect the database and how the models are being created. So this was basically it about like Python models, where we basically deal with MySQL. So what we have learned was we learned the template inheritance today, where we saw that we can use a block element to write whatever we want. We can inherit a template by creating, let us say, base HTML, and then the other two HTML such as index and order. They will be inheriting from the base HTML. Second, we saw that how to add a model, how to add MySQL database, how to create a table in MySQL database, and then how to generate model for the table that I have created. And we also see that how we can write our model code and create a table using Django, right? So second thing that I want to talk about is basically the basics of like MySQL and SQL. So for now, I think this is enough coding. So let me come to MySQL. So I will cover some important important things about MySQL. Stop this already. Okay, so let me stop the server and then wait. Okay, so basically, what we should know about SQL is that, yeah. So basically, what we use today was a MySQL, and the things that you should know about MySQL is that MySQL is a relational database management system. It is free and open source. That means the code that is used to create MySQL is publicly available. It was open source project, but later Oracle Corporation has like acquired it, and they have kept it open source. And like next thing is that it is very fast. We saw that whatever information we were changing, it was like visible on our main page. So it is very fast, reliable, and scalable, as well as it is really easy to use. And second is that it follows the ANSI SQL standard. So what happened was in when the SQL was created, right? So when the databases were created, or certainly like RDBMS, relational databases were created, a lot of people were creating their own databases, right? So ANSI come and they said that we need to create some standard, so that there are some common things which will be like, in all the SQL databases. So it is a select statement, right? So that statement is accessible for like all the databases. So we'll be seeing some of those statements that you should know as a like web developer. So let's see. So what is RDBMS? So MySQL is for basically relational database management system. MySQL is a relational database management system. So basically we use tables. So table is a is like collection of related data entries, and it consists of rows and column. And column holds specific information about every record in table. And a record is each individual entry that exists in a table. Here you can see a table is basically like Excel sheet, where in Excel I have the name of column, and then I have each record, right? So this one row is called as record, and this particular, let us say this what I have selected is called as a specific record of that particular column. So let us say I have column of postal code. So for row number 1, the information is 12209, right? So we have columns and rows, and each row is called record, right? So remember these things. This is basically like Excel sheet, but the difference is that it is really fast. In Excel, I think there is specific number of rows that you can have. In MySQL, you can have unlimited number of rows and data, unless you are like running out of storage. You can keep having the data. So what is the relational database? A relational database defines the relationship in form of tables. A table are related to each other on the data common to each other. So let us say I have this customer ID, right? So I can use the same column on a different table, right? So I have customer ID in the order table, and I also have customer ID in the customer table. So this is the customer ID, and I have again a customer ID. Then I can see that they have some order, and who will be shipping that order. I can have the shipper ID. And this other information about shipper will be stored in a different table, which will be shipper's table, right? So I can make a relationship between table using the columns I have, which will be seeing that we can do that using primary and foreign keys. So for now, understand that this is like a table, right? Excel sheet. So each table can have like a relationship between using like let us say a primary key or a foreign key. So we will be looking at like MySQL table. So first is like MySQL create database. So basically we can use create keyword and database keyword, and then the name of database, and we need to use the semicolon. So just like C and C++, we have to use semicolon to close that statement and let the MySQL know that this is the one query that you need to run, right? So every time you add a semicolon, it is treated as one statement. We can write multiple statements, and it will be executing each statement at a time. Like every time there is a semicolon, it will treat it as one statement. It will run it, then it will go to the second statement, right? So make sure you are putting the semicolon at the end every time your statement is done, right? So, and basically we created a database called MyDB. We used like create keyword and then the database keyword, and then we give the name that was MyDB, and then we saw like colon, right? So this is how you can create a database, and you can also drop a database by saying that drop database and then the name of database. There is also drop databases where you can, I think, drop multiple databases. So you just need to give the name of all the database that you want. So drop databases and then the database name 1, comma, database number 2, database number 3, the name of all the databases, and then the column, it will drop all the databases. Second is how to create a table. So basically we can say create table, and then so like basically create keyword, and then the table keyword, like table keyword, and then the name of table, whatever name you want to give to that table. And then I can have rounded bracket to say that this is part, like part of the create table statement. Then I can give the name of column that I want. Let us say I want a column of ID. Then second column I want is column of name. And then the third column that I want is the name of price. Then I can say column number, name one, column name two, column number three. And then I need to give a data type. You saw that when I was creating the database using PHP MyAdmin, what I did was basically I had an option to add the data type, where I selected the data type as integer for ID. For name, I had selected varchar, right? So varchar is another data type where it is basically like characters, how many character you can have. You can specify how much character. I think the maximum is 255. So we can do that. And second is that there is date time also, and there is text. So text is basically it is stored somewhere else, and you are pointing to the location. So like, whenever you have a text data type and you have some text information, that will be not stored in your actual table. It will be stored somewhere in the memory, and then every time you get that information, it will be like, just simply understand that varchar is faster than text. Okay, so consider using varchar. But if you have a lot of information, more than 255 characters, then you must use text because it can hold a lot of information. So basically you can say create, and then the table keyword, and then the name of table, and then give information to create that particular table. And don't forget to use semicolon to say that this statement is done. Then next will be to drop a table. Basically just like create, I can say drop, and then table keyword, and then the name of table, and that table will be dropped. But there is also truncate table. So basically I can use keyword truncate and table when I want to delete the data of table, right? So in a MySQL sheet, you can open a sheet and then press Control A and delete all the content of that particular Excel sheet, right? But in the MySQL, what I can do is I can say truncate table and then the name of table. The table will be there, but the table content that are like there, they will be deleted. So next is I can again change the content of the table. Let us say I want to add a new column, so that can be done. So let us say alter table, table name, and then I can say add keyword. They are like writing on the second line because they want to write a clean code so that it is easily understood well, but you can also write it on the same line. So add, and then the name of column, and then you can specify the data type of a new column. Also, you can add a constraint. So constraint is basically if you want the table to be auto incrementing, if you want the table so that it is not null, right? It will always hold some kind of value. If I'm trying to make a record and I'm not adding any value for that specific column, then it will give me error. So that can be done. I can say that column number, name of column. So let us say ID, data type will be int, and then constraint will be, let us say, not null. Or let us say primary key to say that ID is the primary key. And then I can also say auto underscore increment to say that this will be auto incrementing column. Second, again, you can also add constraint of unique key. So if you say unique, then I cannot have duplicate values in that particular column. So let us say I have column of country. I cannot have India 2 times. I can only have India 1 time in one record. So next important things are primary and foreign key. So primary key constraint uniquely identified each record in a table. Primary key must contain a unique value. So every time you are saying that this key is a primary key, it is by default has a unique constraint that it will always be going to be unique. So because why unique? Let us say I have a ID column and I am saying that this is primary. I cannot have ID number 1 for 2 different users, right? So that is why we are saying that this is going to be unique. I can add make a key make a column primary by saying primary key and then the name of column in the rounded bracket, or while creating the database, right? So like they are creating the database, I can also write this syntax, or I can write not none, and then I can say primary key also in the same line itself. Again, I can use alter to modify the column, and then I can say add the primary key, and then I can say ID to make already existing column primary. Next is foreign key. This is an important concept that is to answer that the foreign key constraint is used to prevent action that would destroy links between table. The foreign key is a field in one table that refers to primary key in another table. The table with the foreign key is called child table, and the table with the primary key is called the referenced or parent table. So basically what is happening is that, so let us say I have this foreign key. I'm saying that this person ID, right? The name of table is order, but I am saying that let us say person ID, which is referencing from the person table. I want to add this. So I will have order ID, which will be the primary key. I will also have one more column, which will be person ID, and it will be directly referencing from the like person table, like person ID column from the person table, right? So I can create one more column names person ID, which will be directly referencing from the person table. So that was basically like foreign key. So if I like come here, I can show it to you. Yeah, so here I have like let us say customer ID, right? And shipper ID. So let us say shipper ID is the foreign key which is referencing the shipper table, shipper ID column. So this and this are basically same, right? But every time I say shipper number 2, I'm referring to this particular row. So every time I will say that from order table where shipper ID is 2, return the particular information, it is going to return this particular information, right? Second thing is that should be included is basically some of the common things that we can cover is basically select statement. So basically the select statement is used to select data from a database. So basically every time I say select column number 1, that information will be selected in like my memory, and it will be show like given to me as an output every time I say select particular column name from the name of table. Or I can say star to if I want to get all the column names, right? For all the data inside my table, if I want to get that, I can say select star. Basically, select everything from the particular table, like table name. Then I have the where clause where I can say from column number 1, or let us say column number 2, or let us say from star, uh, like select star from table name. Let us say employees, where employee city is equal to Delhi. So every time in the employee table, let us say I have a column name employee city. So I will only get record where the name, the data inside the employee city will be equal to Delhi. Right. So we can basically add condition using where clause. Second is basically and or not. So I can say that let us say so I can say and operator display a record if all the conditions separated by and are true. Let us say where city name equal to Mumbai and city let us say age equal to 25, right? If both of these conditions are satisfying, where the in that particular record the city name is Mumbai and the age is 25, only then I will get those required. And or is like if any of the condition is separated by or is true. So let us say city name is equal to Mumbai, but age is not 25, but still it will give me that record. Not is basically is like not true. We saw that yesterday, like how not and not true works. So next is important is basically let's see what is more important that you guys should be knowing. So let's see how to add comment. So you can basically add double hyphen and then start writing the like comment. So that particular line will become a comment, right? So if I go on second line, I again need to use double hyphen if I want to use that second line also as a comment. So let's go here. Let's try it. So if I have this, and now if I write anything, it will be treated as an what I can say is as a statement, right? But if I say double hyphen and this is a comment, then both of this line has become a comment. And if I run it, then I should get some information about it, because I can see in this particular database that they are using for like trying out. It has 91 record in like customers, right? So that is why I'm getting number of record is 21. You can again practice, come to WC School and then practice without creating a database. They already have some dummy data where you can practice on your own. So second thing that should be included is basically where was it? Yeah, update. So basically to alter a data or like a database or table, I want to use alter command. But if let us say I want to change like information inside the table, right? Not the column of table, or let us say not the table inside database, but the information inside the table. So update statement is used to modify the existing record in a table, right? So that is basically like update, then the name of table, and then I can say set, then I can like have the name of column and whatever value I want to have in that column. And then I can also give a condition. So this is the basic syntax for the update. They have a demo where you can say that update customer table, set contact name is equal to this, and then set the city as Frankfurt, and where customer ID is equal to 1. So you can see that where customer ID is 1, the name, the contact name has changed to see the name is Alfred Fatas, whatever that name is, and it is changed to Skibmit, right? So Alfred Skibmit, and then the name of city has also like changed to Frankfurt, right? So you can change the information like this, and you can also do other things. So let us say you can like delete the some data. So basically to delete a table, or let us say to delete a database, you use delete table or like drop table, right? So drop a keyword. But if you want to delete the existing record inside a table, you have to use the keyword delete. So delete from name of table, and then where clause, and then give the condition. Let us say delete from table name employees, where employee ID is equal to 10. So any record with employee ID 10 will be deleted. Then I can have like is also important. We will be seeing that when we will be working with the final project. So like is operator used in where clause to search for a specific pattern in a column. So let us say I want to search for a user which name is Alfred, but I don't know the last name of that person, right? In the name I have first name and last name, though both of them are present, but I only know the first name, right? So I can use like keyword, and then I can say Alfred. So all the columns where the like all the record where the name of column, the name has Alfred in it, will be returned. So I can say where customer name like, and then a and person, find any value that start with a. And then again I can say any value that end with a, right? So a, and then it doesn't matter what value is it, I want to get it. So I can say Alfred, and then and percent to where the first name is Alfred, and then like whatever the last name may be, you can assume it. So last is let us say percentage is first. That means let us say I want the last name of a user. So let us say last name is like Smith. So, but the name is like Mary Smith, right? So I can say like percentage and then Smith. So I will get all the record where the last name or like at the end is Smith. So basically this is like find any value that has or in any position, right? So and percent or. So let us say I have a middle name. So let us say I have Tom Abraham, and let us say Mary. So Tom Abraham Mary, but I don't know the first and last name. Let us say Tom and Mary, but I know the middle name, right? So Abraham, I can say like percentage Abraham percentage. So it will give me all the record where the middle name, or let us say somewhere in between the name is Abraham. So again, there are other things also that you can do, but these three are the really important that we will be using it on our project that we will be creating. So next is, I think we can learn about joins. Yeah. So join is basically clause used to combine the rows from two or more tables. So let us say I have two or more table. What I can do is I can combine their data, right? So let's look at example. So I can say select from order table, select the column order ID. From customer table, select the column customer name. And then from the order table, select the column order date. And then I can say from order table name, like inner join customers on, let us say order stored customer ID. Okay, and then what I want. Then it will basically change the customer table where I will have a order ID, customer name, and then order date. So basically this is inner join. So inner join is basically return record that have matching value in both the table. Left join return all the record from the left table only. So let us say table number 1 is on the left side, table number 2. So table number 1 will be left table number 2 will be right table. So if all the records from the left table are matched, then it will return it. For the right join, all the record in right table are matched, then it will return it. So cross join is basically all the record from the both the table is matched, then it will return it. Second is basically important is let's see, yeah, group by is also important. So basically what I can do is, so group by statement, group rows that have same values into summary row, like find the number of customer in each country, right? So this is like summary. So group by statement is defined used for the aggregate function. So let us say count, max, minimum, sum, and average to group the results set by one or more column, right? So I can say like find the number of customer in each country. So I can get count of like all the customer in the each country. So let us say in India there are 5 customer, right? So I can get count. So instead of getting record, I will get a number of 5. So basically it is saying that select count of customer ID, that is name of column, from like country, like another column name, that is country, and from the table customer, and then group by the country column. So if I run it, I should be getting some count, right? So run it. Yeah. So I'm getting number of record as 21. You can see that count is 3 for country Argentina. So in Argentina, I have 3 customer whose customer ID. So customer ID count is, so let us say customer ID might be, let us say 5, 6, 7, but the count is 3, right? So there are 3 unique customers from the country Argentina, and definitely I can see that France and Germany has, like, I have customer from France and Germany most. So this was basically count, and you can similarly use things like, let us say, max and minimum to find the max. Let us say in a column, I have the price, right? So price information, I can find which is the maximum price. So max column name will give me the maximum price record. So in which record has the maximum price information, in which record has the minimum price, and I can also get the sum of all the prices, as well as I can get the average of all the prices. So basically you have seen this information in like MS Excel, I think. So they work the same, but here instead of selecting or doing things in MS Excel, we have keywords where I can say like count, max or minimum or sum, or let us say average, to get that information. So I have this made sense. This was like basically it. This is the information that you should be knowing. Let us say if you want to work with MySQL. So basically the things that we covered was how to show data from MySQL DB on the front end. And we also looked at like the basics of MySQL. So I hope we can conclude the session here. So again, thank you for joining, some of you that you have joined. Rest of the people, I will upload the meeting on the channel so that you guys can view it, right? And I will also give you notes on this concept, because there was some electricity issue today. So I think there is some problem, and also not many people were present. So what I will do is I will add the notes of this particular lecture by tomorrow, so that on Sunday you can create this project on your own. And then on Tuesday next week, on Monday, we'll be looking at like how to make request to the let us say server. But on Tuesday, our project will be mostly completed, so we will be deploying that. And then on let us say last 2 days, we will be looking at security as well as completing the project if there is anything else important needed. Let us say we will be creating a project in PHP on the last day, right? So I will be giving you notes. So just remember that. So thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you, Mansi. So we'll stop here for now.